Our souls travel along with our bodies because our magnificent bodies manifest experiences that are not possible in the spirit realm. Contrary to the beliefs of pop culture, we are neither a meaningless accident, nor are we here for a single purpose. We are a biofield engineered to experience. Who can we meet? What can we discover? How can we learn? The time is now. The quality of our consciousness depends on our experiences and lessons learned. These experiences aren't ours to hold on to. Each one creates a ripple effect through the quantum field around us. What is a quantum field? Think of it like pointillism. The quantum field is a picture you perceive, though it is made up of points in empty space. The empty space is known as the 0-point field, and it is not measured in space or time. Each point has its own resonance, and from another perspective, each point is created out of vibration. The nature of these points is to exchange signals of information between all other points in the field. Our bodies are also points along the quantum field. Most of our senses are perceived in space and time, while our consciousness, our sixth sense, plays in the 0-point field without space or time. Our bodies contain their own points and empty space, all the way down to the most microscopic point conceivable. Our consciousness permeates all of the empty space within ourselves. Points thought of as particles or matter are really just energy. This energy seems solid based on the nature of the biofield. What happens when we observe empty space instead of the energetic points? How does our inner space interact with the outer space? Consider the bee that approaches a flower. Signals come off of flowers through light and pheromones, calling bees to participate in their growth. They communicate through a resonant biofield, and we do too. We have an active resonant exchange of information within and outside of our bodies in every moment of our lives, through all 50 trillion cells, and we carry impressions left by our experiences and ancestors. Imagine the smell of a fresh-baked chocolate chip cookie. Recall the tune of I Want to Hold Your Hand. These impressions stay with us. They're part of us. We can conjure them anytime we want. The same is true for gratitude, compassion, and love. For those of us who have had little experience with higher emotions like these, we can find teachers among pets in nature. If we feel lost, a mighty tree will bear witness and whisper a new way. When we shift into emotional resonance on a higher order, we enter a state of consciousness where our soul speaks. There are loads of experiences we'd rather not have. Painful, unjust, boring, sad. Sometimes these come from outside forces, and sometimes from within our own minds. In order to hear our soul's whispers that guide us toward beauty and bliss, we have to quiet the noise, and that is the paradoxical job of the ego. The ego out of balance creates its own kind of noise, but we can't create order from chaos without the ego's desire for mastery. Souls need bodies to sense, to hear, taste, touch, smell, and see the nature of the physical reality. The stronger and healthier our bodies are, the richer the experience our souls can have. Remember that the mighty tree bends with the wind. The soul and ego are the magnetic poles of our life force. The soul is our connection to higher consciousness, and it provides us with inspiration. The ego runs our personality, which creates habits. The ego forms our identity and makes us relatable. Some people are very happy with their personalities and the order they make out of their lives. Are you an extroverted visionary who takes action? You may be a natural leader. Are you an introverted problem solver with grit? You may be an engineer. Are you creative and diligent? You may be an artist. Did your personality activate at birth? Not likely. You can decide what kind of traits you'd like to enhance and let your ego guide the way. If you want to change up your current habits, it will take a lot of work. Your soul may inspire the change, but your ego will drag your ass to therapy, the gym, the school, or any of the other adventures that will shift your patterns. Our souls and egos come together to manifest our best lives possible. There is a continuum between passivity and progress based on our ability to unite our souls and egos in a coordinated rhythm. Our souls inspire action, and our egos move us forward. The ego is not your enemy. The ego without a connection to its own soul, however, is a narcissist that takes its inspiration from the souls of others. Relationships drive new experiences for us because every soul is a source of inspiration. New relationships can bring great pleasure when we enter into them with our souls as our guides, even when the other person presents us with challenges. Our souls drive the reason why opposites attract. We get into trouble when we emphasize the similarities between one another instead of our uniqueness. When that happens, both parties reduce their self-expression to a smaller range, and that's driven by the ego's desire to stick to what we know. We use routines, rituals, and habits to create a sense of order. When each person's ego enjoys different habits, disagreement arises, but this doesn't have to create conflict. Do we honor our differences or seek out sameness? Too often our egos seek to convince others to see the world as we do. Conflict leads to power struggles. Two people may exchange compromises until they are a fraction of their total selves. If they surrender to their egos, they may forget how to see their own souls. We have to open our hearts to talk to our souls. And we begin by entering a state of relaxation to open a channel that's grounded and inspired. We harmonize our energy and create coherence between our hearts and minds. This expands our biofield. As we practice, we generate a state of coherence. Information flows freely, and our spirit gets more attention. Now, tension blocks this channel and disturbs the flow of information. Tension is the ego's reflex against uncertainty. It makes us rigid, narrows the mind, stiffens the muscles, quickens the breath, hardens the arteries, and blocks the libido. Opening up to our souls also heals our bodies. We're opening a channel for our spirit to influence the mind and body. Even the most Zen, non-judgmental personalities can over-identify as such and block experiences their souls seek. There can be an escapist tendency among spiritualists. Many believe we should run away from people in situations that don't match our frequency. But this is a kind of passivity. Opening a clear channel of communication with our souls is about expanding, not retreating. The mind is not the spirit. It is not the ego or the soul. The soul brings insights. The ego makes meaning. The mind is a dynamic system that converts signals from the ego and the soul into beliefs, feelings, knowledge, and fears. The mind moves sensations through the body. Brain fog happens when the mind's reception is fuzzy. When we learn how to tune our bodies to be receptive to spirit, we clear the fog and integrate our higher selves into the experiences of daily life. If we lose this connection, we feel lost. But our minds can take action and focus our attention in a way that opens the channel again. The body is our string to play, and to live well, we must keep it in tune. To do this, we must engage all the senses. What is our scenery? How do we eat? What can we hear? What can we smell? Where are our hands? How does it feel in our bodies right now? Few people are born with perfect pitch. Most of us have to identify an external source and tune from there. Remember the mighty tree? This is one of many potential tuning rods. Each of us is a unique instrument with infinite possibilities for source. What's yours? This is where your adventure begins.